Shelters are dedicated to assisting as many dogs as possible. Yet sometimes, heart-wrenching stories like that of this forlorn dog clutching his cherished toy while awaiting an uncertain fate emerge. Follow us as we unveil the remarkable turn of events that would change his life forever. Dogs often become integral members of a family, and most animal enthusiasts firmly believe that when you adopt a pet, it is a lifelong commitment. The bond with your pet is meant to endure through thick and thin, rather than being cast aside when convenience wanes. However, life can sometimes throw curveballs beyond our control, affecting not only our families but also our beloved animal companions. Smokey, the dog, was adopted into a loving home as a young puppy. He reveled in a sprawling backyard to frolic in and a plethora of stuffed animals to chase and play with. Among his many toys, there was a clear favorite, a small, stuffed gray elephant with endearing pink ears. This precious toy accompanied him wherever he ventured. Whether it was time for a walk, slumber, or moments of leisure, Smokey clung to this beloved elephant with remarkable gentleness, despite his imposing size. For years, Smokey enjoyed a blissful life filled with love and care. However, when he reached the age of 5, his world was upended. His owner lost his job, thrusting the family into financial turmoil. While they strived to ensure Smokey never went hungry, they were compelled to downsize into a cramped apartment. Their capacity to provide for Smokey diminished, and the family, their hearts heavy with concern, embarked on a search for a new home for their cherished companion. Regrettably, none of their acquaintances could accommodate such a large dog. As their financial struggles persisted, the family faced a dire revelation. They were on the brink of losing their home. Desperate to secure a loving environment for Smokey, they exhaustively sought potential caretakers. But on Valentine's Day, they confronted an agonizing truth. They could no longer provide for Smokey, and no alternative homes materialized. With heavy hearts, they made the painful decision to surrender him to a shelter, ensuring he was accompanied by his cherished stuffed elephant, a source of solace in turbulent times. The choice was heart-wrenching for Smokey's owner, and it proved equally distressing for the dog himself. Confused and heartbroken, he could not fathom what he had done wrong. For 5 years, he had thrived in a home brimming with constant love and attention. Now, he found himself confined to a small enclosure, his only source of comfort being his beloved toy. Shelter volunteers endeavored to provide Smokey with the attention and care he so desperately needed. However, the tumultuous changes in his life had left him grappling with severe anxiety. Timid and withdrawn, he shunned playtime, clenching his beloved toy in his mouth while retreating to a corner. The shelter entrusted with Smokey's care faced a dire housing shortage for animals, necessitating swift adoptions to make room for new arrivals. They were constrained by limited resources and lacked the capacity for long-term care. The urgency to secure a loving home for Smokey and his cherished elephant became paramount, prompting them to list him for adoption almost immediately upon his arrival. Despite Smokey's shyness, the shelter remained optimistic that his background as a family dog accustomed to domestic life would make him an appealing choice for potential adopters. His endearing photos, featuring his ever-present teddy bear, captured the attention of those seeking a new canine companion. Inquiries began pouring in, with several families expressing interest in meeting Smokey, drawn to the heartwarming images of the dog with his beloved stuffed toy. Smokey's anxiety posed a significant obstacle to his adoption. Each time a prospective family came to meet him, he sought refuge in a corner, and if they approached, his fear would escalate into growling. While it was suspected that he might be guarding his beloved toy, the resultant aggression made adoption an elusive prospect. Understandably, families were reluctant to welcome a dog they were afraid of, especially one displaying such severe anxiety. This predicament forced the shelter into a challenging situation where they had to remove Smokey from the list of adoptable dogs, effectively issuing a grim ultimatum. The shelter's decision to remove Smokey from the adoption roster did not signify an abandonment of hope. Instead, it marked a turning point. Determined to give him another chance, they actively sought assistance from other shelters that could offer him a foster home tailored to his unique needs. Their quest was to find a family experienced in handling a dog with Smokey's behavioral challenges, where he could have the best possible shot at a brighter future. The shelter believed that he would fare much better in a home environment than amidst the stress of a crowded shelter, which contributed to his anxiety-driven aggression. The goal was to provide him with a more tranquil setting, increasing his chances of being placed for adoption once more. Time was running out for Smokey, but when the I Have a Dream rescue organization learned about his plight, they extended a helping hand. With additional resources and foster families, unafraid to take on the responsibility of a dog in need of patience and care, they were eager to assist. They reached out to their foster network, emphasizing that by taking in Smokey, they were also embracing his cherished, stuffed elephant. Fortunately, they found a family willing to accept Smokey and his elephant despite the behavioral issues he exhibited. Misty Martin Fuller, one of the organization's founders, affirmed their commitment to Smokey, asserting that they had no intention of imposing a deadline on his stay. Their hope was to offer him a forever home, but even if he remained in foster care indefinitely, they were prepared to provide him with the care and love he deserved. When they shared the news with Smokey that he would be going home with them, his joyful reaction marked a significant change from the sad, despondent dog he had been since arriving at the shelter. Upon moving in with his foster family, Smokey's transformation was nothing short of miraculous. He evolved from a desolate dog clinging to his stuffed animal for comfort to a joyful, excited canine who embraced life once more. The stress of the unfamiliar environment melted away as he relaxed and adapted to his new circumstances. He eagerly engaged in playtime with his foster family, even setting aside his beloved elephant to explore other toys. While the stuffed elephant remained his cherished bedtime companion, he no longer clung to it constantly for solace. Much sooner than expected, the organization determined that Smokey was ready to be placed for adoption once again. However, before proceeding, they wanted to offer his original family an opportunity to reclaim him. While they deeply loved Smokey, their circumstances prevented them from caring for him adequately. Grateful that he had been saved, they wished to enable him to move forward. Smokey's story, along with heartwarming photos shared on social media, garnered him a considerable following and brought attention to other shelter dogs in need. Numerous families eagerly awaited the opportunity to provide him with a new home. Soon, Smokey embarked on a journey to a fresh beginning, with his cherished elephant faithfully accompanying him. He radiated happiness and playfulness, reminiscent of a young, carefree puppy